Hey guys, we are back again, and today we've got some testing going on. Hood released today. We did not get an opportunity to actually do any type of play testing when Hellverine released because there was really nowhere to play test him. So today we're going to jump into the negative zone on the last 4 nodes, and we're going to test the Here-Accursed and see how it goes. We're going to take our time, go over their kits a little bit, have a little bit of fun, and we're going to see exactly how well they do together in there. And hope you guys have been waiting for this because I've been pretty excited about it. So first things first, I did unlock Hood today. We did a full unlock as normal, but currently we have him at 3 red. We're going to use him as a raider. And of course we have all of his T4s maxed, and he is essentially at gear 19.5. I will not have enough Mystic gear to bring him up until this current leaderboard event is over. But when that's over, I will bring him up. I will do some Professor X testing with him, and we'll get an idea of whether or not he's going to be viable in there for you guys. He will be in the Villain Global section, so we'll check it out and see how it goes. I think a lot of you guys are past the Villain Global section, but I still think there's a bunch of people that are also trying to get there. And if we can make him viable, that will certainly help. So let's go ahead and jump in here and get to doing some testing. For any of you guys who have done Negative Zone without the Accursed, it is a nightmare. And I went ahead and did the previous, I think, 8 nodes with Vigilante. So we are on essentially what are supposed to be the Accursed nodes. So we're going to jump in here. We're on the first node. This is the team that we're going to be using. Now, we're going to back them out of here real quick so you can see the size that they are. Silver Sable is 3 diamond completely maxed out. Just to kind of give you guys an idea. We're going to have to bring a 5th because we don't have all 5 yet. So Mordo is a 3 diamond. Hellverine is 7 red. Juggernaut is also 3 diamond. And the Hood, as you saw, is 3 diamond, or 3 red. All right. So we're going to take this squad in here. We're going to go over the abilities and the passives and all that stuff for the Accursed team because we have not done that yet. And we'll just spend a little time seeing how they're going to do in here and learning a little bit about their kits. So let's jump into it. Let's see if now that we have 4 of them, if we can easily get through these last 4 nodes. Because most of their abilities, if not all of their abilities, are activated with 4 members. So this should be a little bit different scenario in these last nodes, at least I'm hoping. Because up to this point, they have been a nightmare. All right. So we'll go ahead and start out with Silver Sable's ult. Okay. All right. Lizard's going to run through and slap us all with his tail. All right, so let's jump in here real quick, the Hood. Let's go over his passive. Demonic Thief. On successful attack by this character or an accursed ally, apply bleed and heal block to each attacked target. In Crucible, which obviously is relevant here, enemies can... Or actually, no, it's not. That's right, I forgot. The Crucible buffs are active during Negative Zone, so they are actually going to apply here. Enemies can only gain bonus damage and focus through positive effects. Hero enemies can only gain bonus resistance and speed through positive effects. In Crucible, if this character has 3 or more accursed allies, enemies cannot gain speed up, charged, or offense up. That's a big deal. Hero enemies cannot gain taunt. Enemies cannot assist. Enemies cannot fill speed bar for themselves or allies. This does not apply to speed bar gain through normal means. And the speed of this character in each ally can only be reduced by slow. That's pretty big. Definitely pretty big. All right, let's check out his basic. Attack primary target for 50% piercing. Bonus attack 5 times for 50% piercing. In Crucible, this attack cannot be blocked. Okay? That kind of made me want to lean to Striker, but I really think Raider's probably the best route for him. All right, his special, attack primary target for 250% damage, plus apply ability block. Attack all adjacent targets for 200% damage. If the primary target does not have ability block, bonus attack the primary target for 250% damage. In Crucible, which in here, this attack cannot be dodged or blocked. All right, so we are on Taunt with Lizard. We're going to go ahead and use his special. Okay, now Hellverine, let's jump in here real quick because we have not went over his kit. His passive, Hell Reborn on spawn and any turn. If no enemy has exposed, apply exposed to the most injured enemy. On any turn, if any enemy minion has exposed, attack that target for 500% piercing. This attack cannot be dodged or blocked. On turn, if 2 or more enemies are exposed, remove exposed from all enemies and heal self for 25% of this character's max health. A lot of regeneration going on. And you're going to see every time he shoots fire, he's putting exposed on someone. In Crucible, while any enemy has exposed, this character cannot have their speed bar reduced. That's huge because he's constantly putting exposed on people. If this character has 3 or more accursed allies, enemies cannot gain defense up or death proof. That's pretty massive. All right, his basic, attack primary target for 220% piercing. Apply defense down to primary target. If primary target has exposed, apply defense down for 2 turns instead. Attack cannot be blocked. And then his ultimate is pretty crazy. Attack all enemies for 300% piercing, plus flip 1 positive effect to a negative effect and apply defense down. If any target has exposed, attack a random target with exposed for 10% of the target's max health. Deal an additional 300% piercing, plus flip all positive effects to negative effects, and apply defense down and trauma. In Crucible, if this character has 3 or more accursed allies, apply ability block to all enemies. That is freaking huge. In Crucible, apply disrupted plus offense down to all hero enemies. And in Crucible, reduce the speed bar for all mutant villain enemies by 30%. That's kind of irrelevant right now, but I think there's going to be quite a few mutants in the Hellfire Club, and I think that's going to be a call out for them. Enemies killed by this attack cannot be revived, and this attack cannot be dodged, blocked, or counterattacked. All right, so we're going to go ahead and use this and watch him wreck people. Yeah. Can you imagine him at 3 diamonds? He's going to be ridiculous. All right, so Mordo. We're not going to dig too deep into Mordo and Jug's kits. They've been around forever. We'll kind of jump into what we're using. We're not going to use his special or his ultimate right now, so let's take a look at his basic. Attack primary target for 220% damage. Apply 1 to 2 random negative effects. Let's go ahead and get rid of Hank, so we're going to go after him. All right. Okay, you saw him breathe fire. When he did that, he put exposed on him. All right, so Juggernaut, same thing. Movable object, gain taunt for 2 turns, defense up for 2 turns, immunity for 1 turn, 1 death proof, and 2 regeneration. Heal self and all accursed allies for 20% of this character's max health. Everybody is pretty much full health, so we're not going to do that right now. His basic, attack primary target for 250% damage, gain +1 charged up to a maximum of 4, generate 1 ability energy for self. When this character performs an ISO attack, counterattack, or an assist, the attack does no additional effects besides damage. So we're just going to use his basic right now. There's no sense in wasting that heal. We're going to go ahead and do her basic as well. We're going to save her special. Now the Hood's ultimate, we're going to go over it real quick, but we're not going to use it. Attack primary and adjacent targets for 200% damage, plus flip 1 positive effect into a negative effect. If a target does not have any positive effects, apply trauma to that target. This attack deals an additional 200% damage to any target with Safeguard. Sweet, that's very cool. Repeat this attack 2 times. Characters killed by this attack cannot be revived, and in Crucible, it cannot be blocked. All right, we're going to go ahead and use his basic, though. We're not going to waste his ultimate right now. Hellverine Special, Infernal Pursuit, attack primary target for 250% damage. Apply defense down, chain to 4 adjacent targets for 250% damage, and also apply defense down. A counterattack does break the chain. If any target has exposed, attack the primary target for 10% of the target's max health. That's big. That is really, really, really big. Instead, attack all enemies for 250% piercing and apply defense down for 2 turns. Goodness sakes. All right, we're going to go ahead and use this basic right now because we're going to save all of these because we're clearly getting through this node. So we want to save as many abilities as possible for the next round. All right, we're going to go ahead and basic here. We're not going to use any abilities right now. Okay, let's go ahead and basic. Okay, let's basic there. Okay. All right. Well, for any of you guys that have played these last 4 nodes on Negative Zone, I think we can all agree that was 1,000% easier than it is with Vigilante and Thunderbolts. So that's awesome. And sorry it took so long on that first one. I like to pull that stuff up, go over their abilities with you guys. And I just think it's more fun to do it while we're playtesting rather than just sitting there staring at the characters. All right, let's jump into this node and see how it goes. Okay. This team is going to be amazing in Crucible. I am super excited. All right. So we did not get back around to her ultimate, which is definitely unfortunate, but let's go ahead and get in here. Okay, and let's go over this one more time. Attack primary and adjacent targets if the target does not have any positive effects. Apply trauma. Okay, let's see. Well, you know what? They both do, but this Howard over here has no positive effects, so we're going to put trauma on him. Okay. Then we are going to go right here with his special. Because these gambits are getting on my nerves already. Man, he's just bouncing around slapping everybody. Okay. There goes that gambit. Okay. Mordo. Attack all enemies for 240% damage. Apply heal block for 2 turns. In Crucible, apply 1 bleed for each accursed ally, up to a maximum of 4 to all enemies. If this character has 3 or more accursed allies, reduce speed bar for all enemies by 30%. Apply defense up for 2 turns to self and all mystic allies. Okay. That's pretty good. Let's reduce all of their speed bar. That works for me without a doubt. Okay. Okay. Juggernaut. Attack primary and adjacent targets for 300% damage. This attack gains 80% additional damage per charged on this character. I think we're going to go right here through the middle and see how this goes. Hang in there, Hood. You can do it, buddy. Okay, let's see. We need We really need to get rid of these black bolts. Okay. All right, do we get any healing in here anywhere? 50% chance to apply blind. Apply slow. No, I think we need to save that. Okay, this should heal. 20%. Let's do that. Very good. Okay, let's go ahead and kill this Havoc. Let's go ahead and go after that Donald, or Howard. Donald. I'm sure I'm not the first person to call him Donald. Okay. Let's go over here to Lalandra. Okay. Perfect. We've got her ultimate ready for the next round. Let's go ahead and kill him. Okay, let's go after the Lalandra with our basic here. Okay, let's basic. Okay, there she goes. Now he's going to go, which is going to give him taunt. Wow. Dude, that's a 3 red. That was awesome. All right. This team's actually a lot of fun. They're going to be a lot of fun once Satana comes out next week. My goodness, man. He just hits like 50 times. I'm really starting... I don't know. I'm really thinking about making him a striker with all those times that he hits. We'll have to toy around with it. All right. We got through that. No issue whatsoever. This one could be a little bit of a test. We've got Mephisto in here. We may end up having to bring Hood up a few star levels, but we'll see. I would really prefer that we're able to get through this with him at 3 red, because I know a lot of you guys out there are probably going to get him at 3 red, so I'd really like for everybody to be able to get through here with this squad. Okay. Really want to get rid of Cap Sam as soon as possible. Okay, I was hoping that he wouldn't go after her, because there's really no way to heal her, I don't think. Okay. Let's go ahead and use his special. We're going to apply ability block. Make sure there's no... Yeah. Okay. I think we're probably going to lose her, if I had to guess. Yeah, I thought we might. Which is fine. We can bring somebody different into the next one. All right. So, yes, we're probably going to bring him up to 5 red, see if we can keep him alive. Let's jump out of here. Okay. And let's bring him up one more time. All right. So now we have him at 5 red. And let's see how this goes now. Now, I personally think that if we could have gotten all of our abilities reset, which is very difficult to do because you just don't have that many turns, then it probably would go a little different. But you're going to have to start using basics after you've killed 1 or 2 people, which is also going to make it very difficult to get through. Everyone has safeguard, which is not great. Okay, he could have certainly picked someone else. Okay. Let's go over here. Okay, let's go ahead and heal everybody up. Juggernaut's taking a beating like a boss. Okay. So let's see. I want to... Do we want to do that? Tackle and Crucible, apply 1B bleed. Reduce the speed bar. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, let's go here. That didn't go fantastically. Let's see. Okay. Oh, I don't know. This section may not be beatable in one turn without the full team in here. I think we... Let's try him with Songbird. See if we can get some flips right out of the gate. Okay, we got some hill block out there. Okay, let's go ahead and heal up. All right. All right, let's go in here with his ultimate. Okay, we lost the hood. She gone. Man, there's all sorts of streets getting dropped on us, man. All right, let's get out of there. All right. Well, I hope you guys got something out of this. I've been looking forward to doing some testing with them. They definitely make the first two nodes way, way, way more smooth. That Mephisto node is going to be a problem, especially if they're not big and giant and maxed out, especially without having the full team of 5. This is a pretty difficult node. We'll have to wait and see whether Satana is going to make a huge difference, but I will tell you they are going to be beasts in Crucible. So definitely be watching for this week's Crucible, because we're going to be using them on offense to kind of test them out and kind of see where they're good. So if that's something you guys are interested in, make sure you stay tuned for this weekend's Crucible. And guys, if you got some value, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, slap that bell around, share it with any of your friends if you think it will help them. And until next time, stay positive and enjoy the game, guys.